Howdy. Just over 2 years ago, I did a video on this channel that I called Risky Leadership. In that video, I talked about being in a leadership position and taking unnecessary risks and how I thought that was a bad thing to do. I acknowledged at some point that if things are going really bad and you have to really figure something out, that sometimes you have to take a risk that will go one way or the other. But hopefully you've done enough research so that any risk you take isn't going to be all that bad. Well, this is not a leadership video. This is more of a motivational thought leadership video. And I want to talk about this concept of risk because I tend to believe that overwhelmingly most of us don't take any risks whatsoever. Don't take the risk that will at least give you an opportunity to improve your lot in life, improve yourself, or get other people to notice you. And I'm going to start with my references to my buddy Snoopy. You see in my thumbnail that I have me holding a picture of Snoopy with a bowling ball, and it says world's greatest bowler. Well, you know, Charles Schulz years ago wanted to create a dog in his comic book, and he gave us Snoopy. And Snoopy was a traditional dog. He was actually a traditional puppy. He walked like a puppy. He thought like a puppy. But Snoopy became a phenomenon when suddenly he wasn't always dog-like. Every once in a while he stood on his back legs, he did the pirate thing, he flew the Sopwith camel, he became Joe Cool, he traveled all over the world, he challenged Hank Aaron for the home run lead, he did everything. Snoopy has been everywhere, done everything. He became a float in the Macy's parade. And I didn't watch a lot of parades, but, you know, I always heard, hey, Snoopy's getting ready to come on, and I would go see Snoopy, and then I'm done. Snoopy is one of my favorite cartoon characters or animated characters or fictional characters of all time. And it's kind of an inspiration because this is a character who, you know, you could just say, well, he's just a dog, but he has accomplished so much and become such a really big deal. Well, let's look at us. I mean, I know a lot of people whose only goal is to get a job that they can stay at for as long as possible, get that vacation time, maybe get a 2% raise every year, and then retire some years later and get Social Security, get that pension, and chill, be able to watch TV. You know, you go to work, you come home, you watch TV, you eat, maybe you play with your dog, hopefully you interact with your family if you have family, and you go to bed. Then you get some people like me who pretty much decided back in 2001, and it wasn't totally my idea, but I had the idea coming, to go into business for myself to see what I could do. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you that every single year has been successful and that I've been totally great across the board. However, I can easily tell you that I have had some years that have been so phenomenal that I just never would have thought it would happen. I have traveled over this country. I haven't left the country. As a matter of fact, I have no urge on leaving this country. Whether it's because I think things are good or bad, I'm just not in the mood to want to leave my country. So I'm staying in the United States for a while. But I've done some things that never would have happened had I stayed at a regular job. Now, I also haven't had a vacation since 1999, but truthfully, I hadn't had a lot of vacations when I was working regular jobs. I haven't really lost anything there. I have a little bit of freedom. For instance, I mentioned in other videos my mother now lives with me, and I spend a lot of time taking care of mom during the day. My wife helps me with different things. She's actually more the overnight person at times where she checks on mom. But in general, I do a lot of that. And had I been working a regular job, I'd had to quit a regular job to be able to take care of mom, and that would have really hurt some things. At least being independent, I can still do some things. I can still go to some meetings. I can still make some money on the side. I can't really travel as much as I was unless I get someone to pay my exact fee, and, you know, we'll see if that happens. But I haven't really advertised as much. Still, I have had those periods of time where I have advertised. And I thought of myself as a risk taker, and then I realized, you know what, I'm not always a risk taker. For instance, I mainly consult in healthcare. I also do leadership, but I mainly consult in healthcare. And healthcare is one of those industries where there are certain rules that people kind of expect you to follow. And for years, I saw myself still as being a director. I didn't see myself as being the head of a company. That didn't happen until 2007 when I got incorporated. I went, put down the paperwork, and now my company is TT Mitchell Consulting Incorporated. And by law, I was president and CEO of my corporation. That now put me at a level with a hospital CEO. Sure, the numbers are different, but I have a legal license. All those guys have is a college degree telling them that they have a master's degree in healthcare administration. You know, truthfully, there's a few of those guys who have made more money than me on a more regular basis, but I have topped some of those people, at least for a few years here and there, as far as money goes. And I think I've had my good impact. I've shown a lot of things. But even now, this is 16 years I've been in business, I have recognized that there are just certain lines I don't want to cross. And I think about that sometimes because I'm the person who, when I was a director, would sometimes go, I will say that I was a little risky in the fact that I told people about themselves. I just did. If there was a bad plan, I would tell them it's a bad plan. I didn't go out of my way to hurt people's feelings. And most of the time, I was the uplifting person. I would tell people, yes, you can do that. Well, yeah, you can do whatever. But if something was bad, really bad, I would tell them. And it didn't matter what level. If it was my employee, if it was a peer of mine, if it was someone above me in rank, I would tell them. Because to me, I didn't see that as risk. Now, other people I would talk to, they said, oh, geez, I could never say anything. Why not? Oh, they may not like it. Yeah, and what? Because I never cared whether someone would like it or not. I cared about getting things right because I always cared about the company. I always figured that's loyalty. Now, I didn't get it back all that often, and that's just a lesson against me. But I've always thought that it was better to get out there and take that risk and, let people know. And if people trusted your judgment, if you had a track record of success based on judgment and based on things you told people, then they would take it better. Sometimes they didn't, and that's happened as a consultant, but most of the time people have. And when people have listened to me and allowed me to use my judgment, and I'm certainly not saying I'm perfect, but I know what I know, and if they will follow the things and let me do it, we've had some pretty good successes. And that's the whole thing about risk, is the fact that more often than not, if you plan things right and if you know what you're talking about, then it's not really as big a risk as you think it is. I think that you could say I took a risk by doing video. And I remember way back in the day when I didn't even like my picture taken. And now I have 2 video channels. But I really started singing in 1985 where I was doing weddings. But I really didn't sing in college except in choir. And I was kind of the background guy. But I was, writing songs and trying to get out there. And then I took a risk and became a wedding singer. And I sang part-time weddings for 14 years. That's just really what it's all about, I think. You have to kind of have at least enough guts to give something a try. It may not totally work, but there's this meme that goes around that says it's better to have tried something than to get to old age and say, I wish I had. That's my thought. What do you think your thoughts are? Are you risk averse? Are you willing to sometimes take a chance to do something different? Are you, one of those people who will sit down and think out a process before you do it? Or do you just have to do spur of the moment? I think one is better than the other, but really the idea says that sometimes you have to kind of step out of your comfort zone if you say you want more. If you don't, if you're feeling good, stay there. I'm not here to make anyone uncomfortable. But $1 million, unless you hit the lottery, it ain't coming your way unless you do something drastic. That's true. And drastic could mean basically taking 10 to 15% of your salary and putting it away monthly into some kind of investment account. That could be drastic for you if you're not making tons of money. I'm just saying. Anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Let me know what you think. And if you like this kind of thing, please subscribe. I never tell anyone they should subscribe, but I'm telling you that today. Y'all take care.